Hey tribe, how you guys doing? This is Big Brother season 20 episode 5. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. So, we found out last night that the nominations are going to stay the same. So tonight they kind of showed us we have the live eviction, which means a couple of things. One, the power's getting ready to shift. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we get somebody different in place and what side of the house they're going to be on. Two, the house is sort of divided. We have the Elite Six or whatever they call themselves on one side, and then we got Swaggy's alliance on the other side. So it's almost split, almost down the middle right now. Um, we know that tonight is the last night of the punishment, so no more robot for Sam, and Casey no more having to be sequestered into one room. So that'll change their social game up a little bit. Casey lucked out because she was safe, and couldn't be put on the block, even though she had this weird punishment. But of course, we know Sam has been on the block all week, but she has the power, so that worked out too. The good thing is she may not have to use the power if she doesn't get evicted, and she has 2 more evictions to use it. So, it looks like Steve felt like he had the votes because he had Swaggy's side of the house. And he actually did have the votes until another showmance came to play. So here's what happened. Fessy and Haley started getting really close, and they started a little showmance. Even though Haley didn't really want to go down that route, she knew it was going to probably mess with her game and put a target on her back, but they succumbed to their attraction anyway. Well, succumbed to their attraction. Succumb. Anyway, they gave into the attraction. The flip side is Caitlyn and Fessy were getting close, and I think Caitlyn kind of. Oh, y'all can still see the. Sorry, put grease in my hair before. I can still see it in the video. All right, that's grease, y'all. That's not nothing crazy. Anyway, so Caitlyn felt some kind of way when she started seeing Fessy and Haley getting close, and she got really upset. I mean, to the point where she was crying. Like, she was really that upset. So that's what made me think that this is deeper than you just upset. She was like, he lied to me, and why isn't he being honest with me? But I think you kind of liked Fessy, and you got your feelings hurt a little bit when you saw he was messing with Haley. So when she saw that happen, she switched her vote to keep Sam in the house because her justification or her reasoning behind it was that everybody else seemed to have an alliance except for her. She was like, Fessy's got a showmance, Swaggy and Bailey have their showmance, the alliance, and she just Scotty and Steve had their little friendship, and she felt like, she was like, well, Sam doesn't have anybody either, so if I keep Sam in the house, me and her can become friends and we can build this alliance, and she'll kind of owe me because I saved her. So that kind of swung the pendulum a little bit. So when the eviction came around, I'm not going to get into who voted for who. It's too many people. But what ended up happening was the eviction came down to 6-7. Matter of fact, I almost thought it was going to have to be, it wasn't going to be a tiebreaker because it was an odd number. But it came down to 6-7 in favor of keeping Sam in the house over Steve. And of course, you should have seen Christopher, aka Swaggy's face, when they announced that Steve was being evicted, because he just knew that he had his people unlocked and under control. And that also lets you know that Swaggy's side of the house ain't as solid as he thought it was. So Steve, of course, is shocked. And, the Bailey and Swaggy and all of them, they're like, oh my God. So, of course, y'all know how Big Brother goes. They're going to be sitting there trying to figure out who didn't vote the way they were supposed to vote. So that's going to be a whole big thing, right? Okay. Head of household, switching the power. The game was, it was one of those games, if you watch Big Brother, you know what I'm talking about. But it's one of those games where they have to, they have the ball come down, and wherever the ball lands, it's connected to some sort of number or dollar amount, and whoever has the highest number after everybody goes, that's who is the new head of household. So the whole theme was, I wrote it down. The theme was land a job, and so it was like this whole Silicon Valley, because remember, the theme this year, everything is dealing with computers or technology or something, and so it was land a job. So they had all these different jobs, and the salaries that are connected to those jobs, and so you had to position the ball to land in one of those salaries, and whoever had the highest salary by the end won. And of course, if it landed in the street, you were disqualified. So here's how it broke down. Scotty got 40,000, and he actually started it off, and he actually had a pretty good number until Sam came along and got 50,000, which knocked him out. And I was like, now, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be perfect karma if Sam messed around and ended up with the head of household? But alas, Caitlyn knocked everybody out with 80,000, and she ends up becoming the new head of household. Now remember, Caitlyn is the one who swung her vote, and Caitlyn is also the one who's a little upset with Fessy and that whole showman situation. So it's going to be really, and she's supposedly in Swaggy's alliance. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, because they can't really afford to get mad at her for not voting the way, if it comes out who voted, because with this many people, everybody can lie. Nobody really know the truth. But it'll be very interesting to see how the power swings this week, because one, they can't get mad at her because she's the head of household. Two, is she going to really put her own people up, or is Chris, aka Swaggy, going to have his saying all of this and be able to manipulate her? What are the apps going to come up this week? Who's going to be affected? Who's going to be the lowest trending? Who's going to be the highest trending? I'm going to tell y'all what. I think the lowest trending is going to be Rachel. You know why? Because I forgot Rachel was even in the house. Until they played Power Veto, I was like, who the hell is Rachel? Like, even when she voted, I was like, Rachel. And then when they played the Power Veto, I was like, Rachel. So I think it's going to be, if I had to guess who was going to be the lowest trending, I would say either Rachel or Winston. Now, y'all also know that the trending could be for something good or for something bad. And if you've been paying attention to some other stuff that's been going on with Big Brother this week, you know that JC has been accused of sexual, those feeds. See, the thing about pretending to be somebody you're not is that eventually who you really are comes out. And when those feeds are on you 24 hours a day, eventually at some point who you really are is going to come out. And so it's been a couple of things going on this week. One, we had JC being accused of some sort of sexual harassment, which I read the article and I was just like, okay. But then the other one that was two of the girls, and I forget, I want to say it was Rachel and Angela, so Rachel may not be the lowest trending because she was involved in this mess, but not supposedly, they said it. They made some comments about comparing their tan to Bailey's tan, and making comments about being ghetto, and connecting dark skin to ghetto. So that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So it'll be interesting to see how all of these things play in with the trending, because again, remember, you don't have to be trending for something good. You have to be trending. Who gets the power and how that all plays out. So anyway, that was the power of veto. That was the head of household. And so I think the next episode will be on Sunday night. So we'll see. Peace.